When progress wears an Igbo name, why unity triggers fear in Africa? Why is it okay when others build, but when progress wears an Igbo name, it suddenly becomes a threat? Why are Igbo developers praised in private but feared in public? From Ghana to Kano, from Accra to Abuja, a disturbing pattern is emerging. When the Igbo build, some call it ambition, others call it invasion. But why? In this Chinick TV special, we unpack the tribalism, insecurity and silence surrounding Igbo excellence and ask the hard question: should the Igbo return home and build the East? In recent weeks, an incident in Ghana sparked outrage. An Igbo man who built a major plaza and named it after his hometown faced severe backlash. Locals accused him of colonizing the area. But let's be clear, this was not government land. He bought it, he developed it, he paid tax. Yet, his crime was naming the structure in Igbo. Meanwhile, Lebanese developers name projects freely in Arabic. Chinese firms write Mandarin on construction sites. Indians build schools and name them after Hindu gods with no resistance. Why is it different when the name is Obinna Complex or Omahia Plaza? Across the world, migrants build and name without fear. In the United States, Chinatown exists in nearly every major city. Little Italy thrives in places like New York and Chicago. Mosques, temples, and even entire suburbs carry foreign names proudly. In the UK, Singh Sabha temples, Al-Qasa Islamic centers, Patel supermarket chains across London. In South Africa, Somali malls in Johannesburg, Ethiopian restaurants in Cape Town. These names are symbols of identity, not aggression. So why is it a problem when an Igbo man names a building Eze Plaza in Ghana? The truth is hard to admit. Igbo excellence makes some uncomfortable. The Igbo don't just migrate, they invest. They don't just settle, they develop. In a world where many come to take, the Igbo come to build. But progress wrapped in Igbo identity often triggers fear. It challenges old power structures. It exposes laziness in governance. It puts pressure on local elites. So, instead of celebration, what do the Igbo receive? Suspicion, resentment, rejection. It is time to ask a painful question. Should the Igbo stop building where they are not wanted? It is time to redirect energy, capital and talent to Abia, Enugu, Ebonyi, Anambra and Imo. Imagine if the malls in Accra were in Owerri, if the estates in Lagos were in Nsukka, if the IT hubs in Ghana existed in Abakiriki. The East would not just rise, it would transform. Yes, Nigeria is one, Africa is one, but unity must not come at the cost of self-neglect. Charity, they say, begins at home. To our Ghanaian brothers, to our Nigerian neighbors, this is not a tribal war. It is a plea for respect. If you want unity, don't punish identity. If you want peace, don't silence progress. African unity cannot grow if some tribes are praised for building, while others are punished for the same. The Igbo don't need permission to succeed, but they deserve protection from envy and prejudice. This video is not about division, it is about awakening. An awakening to silent injustice that follows the Igbo wherever they go. An awakening to the need for dignity, for fairness, for unity built on mutual respect. So whether you are in Ghana, Lagos, Onitsha or abroad, let's talk calmly, honestly, because if Africa cannot respect the builders among us, then who will build Africa? This is Chinick TV. Let's start the conversation in the comments. Like, share and subscribe because these are the truths no one wants to say, but everyone needs to hear.